Thank you again for being here, or being back again, at the ITB Hotel Technology track. And as I promised, this session is going to be very interesting because we will have a tech provider speaking about the opportunities of artificial intelligence with regards to sustainability. And this is Weeva. Weeva is sponsor of this session, and Weeva is a software as a service platform. And they use data to empower travel industry players to adopt holistic sustainability practices. But I trust that James Lever from Weeva, the Chief Technology Officer, please come on stage, will tell us even more about what Weeva does, how they do it, and what's your vision for the travel industry. Thank you so much for being here, and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. OK. So today's talk really is about AI and sustainable tourism. And there's been some amazing discussions already today around AI and ROI. So I hope this will be great. So a little bit about me. So my name's James. I joined a company that rhymes with my surname, which is a little bit awkward. But I've spent almost 20 years in travel technology. And over the last 5 years, I've focused significantly, really, on AI and digital transformation. And by joining Weeva, I really am trying to help tourism achieve net zero through those tech advances that we've had in that period. So a few of the companies that I've worked with, I think it's been amazing to work with all of these different companies as part of my career. And really, AI has helped several of those really become more efficient. So really, this talk is to support that and to kind of tell you a bit more about my experience and how things go. So we use AI quite a lot, and it often gets interchanged with things like machine learning, deep learning. And actually, I think AI is the interesting part, which is where we start to interact as if we're humans. And I think lots of things and revolutions have changed, and everything's boomed for that. But I'd say is everything that we were working on a few years ago was very much machine learning and really helping it detect patterns and achieve our goals. And then I think because computing has become significantly cheaper, really deep learning has become more apparent. So we do have to have untrained learning and trained learning to make all those things happen. But I imagine most of you in this room, from your e-commerce perspective, are already using AI or at least machine learning in some way, right? So we have customer segmentation that your marketing tools would automatically be using. You would be intelligently managing demand forecasts. You would be doing different pricing, personalized recommendations. There's several elements that would support ML to enable and to really superpower your e-commerce capabilities. Now, I think what's changed and what's made everything significantly more interesting is the pre-trained transformer, really. So now, we all know this really from OpenAI, but actually it's leveraged in several different places. And I think we've all probably played with ChatGPT in some respects and asked it to do our work for us and seen if it's actually delivered that. But I think the important part with ChatGPT is it's built on the internet. So therefore, it is subjective, really. It's not a source of knowledge. It's just a source of language and source of information. And I think we have to be wary of that, really. And so when we enable AI into our systems, we really need to think about, is this source of truth appropriate for what we're trying to achieve? So large language models or language models actually have been around for quite some time. It's actually been since the transformer was formed, which was an extension of its predecessor. And then essentially ChatGPT and OpenAI has boomed. So this whole generative AI landscape has maximized and skyrocketed, really, what we are capable of doing. And I think that's been amazing. But I think we have to realize that this technology is all fairly young and fairly new. So there's some really good things with AI and some bad things if we're not careful, right? So it's really great at detecting patterns and associations. I think those machine learning, those e-commerce aspects that we talked about earlier are really powerful. It's actually really great at identifying intent, and it's really good at predicting, and it can really deliver really great business benefits. But where the bit that I would kind of ask you all to be really careful, especially in sustainability, is it can hallucinate, and it can give false answers, and it can generally be pretty convincing in its false answers. So, and I think we need to remember that it's a language model and not a knowledge model. So there's a difference there which needs to be considered. And if we don't train things, it picks up different pieces of data. You may have heard essentially that I think in the US, AI was screening CVs, and it picked actually the person's name and what they paid at school, and actually nothing to do with their job. So biases and so forth can be important. But I think AI provides a significant enabler and a significant benefit from it. And I think we have to take the good with the bad. So in this example, really, AI can do strange things that can have unexpected consequence, but I'm actually fairly sure that Air Canada made significant savings and gave really good customer experience through this bot before it actually went a little bit wrong. So, that's my background on AI. Just wanted to make sure everybody's really on the same page. And I believe, from a sustainable perspective, AI can automate our eco-friendly practices. It can help us predict impacts, and it can enhance both our efficiency and our commitment to the planet. And I think that's really important. So let's talk more about sustainable tourism and kind of why sustainability is really important. So sustainable tourism is predominantly around minimization of negative impacts of tourism. So there are several factors that that comprises. Let's have a look at those, really. So from an environmental perspective, we want to ensure that tourism activities have minimum impact and on the natural environment. So we want to make sure that we are conserving that environment. From a social equity perspective, we need to respect and enhance the historical culture and heritage and traditions of the communities that we interrelate with. From an economic perspective, we need to generate benefits for the host country, not just ourselves, and the communities, and create a stable employment, creating great income opportunities for ourselves and for the communities that we work around. And then from a responsibility perspective, or responsible tourism perspective, we really need to implement sustainable practices that go across all of our supply chain, really, from planning to management to tourist behavior and resource use. So I think if we can accomplish those, then we became really quite a sustainable tourism business. Now, although I don't believe that to be a sustainable tourism business, they should be commercial, they tend to be. And I imagine there's quite a lot of properties here or hotels that might be going, actually, well, how do I start? How do I do it? Do I invest? How is that a tricky decision? And I would just say is that from the benefits of commercial, being a sustainable business, really, you're going to access an increased market share. So the consumer has changed, and the consumer is now looking, and this has changed predominantly from coming out of COVID and coming out of the pandemic. And that shift in consumer, if you can prove that you are a sustainable business, there is a significant increase in users that want that type of business. They want to know that their money is being spent well, and that the economy and the conservation elements are being upheld. I think you want to make sure that your brand is associated with sustainability, because this is important for the environment. And we want to make sure the compliance and regulation aspect that is coming is well prepared for. I think in monitoring sustainability, we can actually make potential cost savings. So I think that's also a good driver and a reason to start looking at your sustainable impact. And really, we can de-risk the regulations that are coming by looking forward and achieving that. And we can essentially provide a better guest experience. So a few quotes and a few backgrounds. So WTM kind of announced and made a nice blog around the demand for sustainability is growing. And then equally, we have, if you look at the searches on trend on Google, we can see that there's an upward shift. So I think there's quite an increase in awareness and so forth. So if we look at AI and sustainability now, where the two intertwine, basically it is really an enabler to enable these things to happen, and it will really accelerate sustainability, a bit like how ML and AI accelerated e-commerce. So from a few case studies, just to kind of whet the appetite a little bit. So there have been case studies on kitchens, and actually by educating staff about food waste, some of those kitchens actually achieved more than 8,000 euros per year savings just by monitoring. Some of the people that didn't implement the software but just monitored and educated their staff actually achieved a 13% food waste reduction. So through education, we can actually make a big difference. From an energy perspective, there's been some interesting study in Sweden. And in Sweden, it's kind of good because they have buildings that are identical. They've been able to actually use AI and take things like solar radiation and identify when heating should switch on and off. And actually, they've achieved more than a 20% saving in the building. And in this case study, they went on to achieve a 30% reduction. I just want to show you a bit of a water case study with one of our clients. There might not be audio, but let's see. I think, let's see if it plays. Oh, it didn't want to play. Oh. Can we see if it plays? If not, don't worry. No, that's great. Don't worry, it's okay. If it's not going to, no, not a problem. So in this example, basically, as a case study, is they had lots of rainwater, and they actually identified that without they baselined their data, and what they identified was that they had a big leak in their property. And without the data, they couldn't have spotted it. And I think the data element of both AI projects and of sustainability projects is super important. So really, what I'd like to kind of just spell out really with sustainability is we can't manage what you can't see. So there is a reason why we spend time with our financial accounts preparing that data and looking at the trends in that data. And I think in the same light, we should be applying that to monitoring our business. And so let me just kind of give you a bit of an introduction to Weeva. So Weeva really is a platform to manage your sustainability data. And our mission is to deliver affordable, sustainable technology so that you can understand your impact. And we do that to drive change and not just certification. And we deliver that through transparent and achievable sustainable tourism. We're holistic. So we have categories up into 4 Cs, which mirror, say, the SHA's 4 Ps. And it consists of 18 different parameters, which provides across conservation, commerce, culture, and community, providing a full holistic background. Weeva is actually a SaaS-based application, so you need to input your data, you need to set your targets, and then we really help you by measuring your progress and delivering that update, and then providing you with a progress score that really helps you. And we use gamification and tasks to help you nudge you along the way. So what I'm proud to announce today is we have launched our second major release of Weeva. And actually, all of that AI work that we've been talking about, we have combined. And we are now able to take all of our content that we've trained and we've built together, and we really believe that this will supercharge your sustainability efforts. We can allow all of your staff to ask as many sustainability questions as you want. You can get access to your data just by asking questions, and it can help share your successes with other people. So likewise, we have a conversational AI bot that goes through, and we have a chart summary that will help you with descriptions. So the future of AI really stems around education, and it will play a big part. I do believe that green claims and greenwashing will play a massive part with the EU Green Claims Directive. It will be part of validating those claims, and I imagine that blockchain will actually be part of that as well. I do believe that AI will help us now set our own targets and really do that achievement. So to summarize, so AI and sustainability, I believe, forms a very dynamic partnership which will ignite and optimize businesses. It will definitely educate, it will track and predict your goals, and really it can make you a more rounded and more resilient business and save you money at the same time. So we have a stage that's just stand just around the back, and we are currently doing a promotion. So if anyone would like to look at or leverage our software to do it, we'd be really happy to speak to you. And if you'd like some free training materials, come and speak to us. But thank you very much. I hope you found it interesting. And yeah, have a great ITB.
Thank you so much, James. James Lever, CTO at Weeva. Congratulations also to the launch. And I just repeat for everyone, if you want to visit Weeva, it's here in Hall 6.1. It's the booth 505. So make sure to meet them. Thank you, James. It was a pleasure to have you.